Now, lawmakers in Congress are considering automatic stimulus payments for low-income Americans, and Democratic Senator Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema may shrink President Biden's legislative agenda, because after 100 days in office, President Biden was doing a great job. After all, the president did pass a $1.9 trillion stimulus relief package, but still, there's a lot of work that must be done.
Now, as more places reopen, the latest round of financial help is on the way. If you haven't received the latest check, it could be in the mail. Over 2.3 million stimulus checks went out to the public last week as part of President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. These payments include economic impact payments and additional ongoing supplemental payments based on updated tax information. If you would like to know when your stimulus check is scheduled to arrive, more information can...
In fact, they thought stimulus payments must be approved and sent out to the American people. And if you guys agree with me, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel.
I'm going to get in trouble with my staff. Yeah, go ahead, but I pretend that you didn't answer you.
Thank you very much, sir. You have often said repeatedly that America is back.
Yes.
At the same time, you've kept in place some Trump-era steel and aluminum sanctions. And I wanted to ask you, when you're having these conversations with European allies who are very concerned about these sanctions, how do you justify that? And what are your plans to
120 days. Give me a break. Need time.
We're continuing to engage in discussions, members of mine, with each other across the aisle and with the administration, and we haven't given up hope that we'll be able to reach a deal on something really important for the country that we really need to accomplish.
So everybody, according to a recent Capitol Insider survey of congressional staffers, the big question remains how large an infrastructure bill Congress will give Joe Biden to sign. The president has already more than halved his initial proposal for a $2.3 trillion bill to build roads and bridges, but also to expand electric vehicle charging stations, climate research, and care for senior citizens. Most of the 106 aides who responded to the poll said that they expected it would pass, but that Congress would scale it back still further. Both Republicans and Democratic aides agreed that Congress will pass an infrastructure bill, and most of them expect it to be close to around the $1 trillion plan that Biden offered to the Republican negotiator, Shelley Moore Capito. In addition, everybody, nearly 6 in 10 of the Democratic respondents said they expected Congress to pass a slightly scaled back bill, with the rest expecting passage with more significant downsizing. Among Republican aides, close to half of those who took the survey said President Biden would get his $1 trillion or something closer to it. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Will President Biden send out a fourth stimulus check? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. But now Democrats are going to have some conversations this week if they're going to get behind an infrastructure proposal that's half the size of what they initially proposed. They need assurance from two colleagues, Senators Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. Some Democratic leaders are concerned that if they endorse a bipartisan deal like the pair of centrists wants, then the deal will play hard to get when it comes time to go Democrats only. A reconciliation package will likely include sweeping climate provisions, a massive installment in family and child care, and higher corporate taxes. Speaker Pelosi hinted on CNN and said that if a bipartisan Senate deal can be agreed upon, I don't know how we can possibly sell it to our caucus unless we know that there is more to come. And the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has been preparing for this possible two-pronged approach for a while. He stated last week, "We all know as a caucus, we will not be able to do all the things that the country needs in a totally bipartisan way. But we're not going to sacrifice the bigness and boldness in this bill. We will just pursue two paths, and at some point they will join." Now, despite 3 rounds of stimulus checks, millions of Americans remain in financial distress, with about 4 in 10 people saying their income remains below its pre-crisis levels. Some top economists have called for more direct aid to Americans. More than 150 economists, including Jason Furman, signed a letter that argued for recurring direct stimulus payments that will last until the economy recovers. And although the economy is improving, millions of people will continue to suffer from reduced income and have not been able to tap government aid programs. Even so, only about 1/3 of Americans believe the American Rescue Plan will help them a lot, according to a poll from Politico Harvard. That suggests that some households feel they need more aid to help them get through the next several months. But the biggest help that is available right now is the enhanced child tax credit, when many households will get a form of additional stimulus and when families with children under 18 will get direct payments for 6 months through the revised child tax credit from July through December. Families with children under 6 will get $300 per month, and those kids between 6 and 17 will receive $250 per month per child. Families may enjoy more of a tax break in coming years if Biden's American Families Plan moves forward. Under the plan, the child tax credit's expansion will last through 2025, giving families an additional 4 years of bigger tax breaks for children. Other Democrats have pushed for the enactment of so-called automatic stabilizers for expanded unemployment and stimulus checks, and they say this will help prevent the kind of partisan gridlock that stalled relief packages during the crisis. So, are automatic stimulus checks a good idea? Tell me your thoughts on this in the comments below, everybody. As always, I appreciate everyone's amazing support. Until next time, have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you, Mr. President. Here at this meeting and earlier at the G7, you've said several times that America is back at allies' side. But a lot of those allies are themselves pretty rattled by what happened on January 6th, an attempted overturning of your election. And they may still be alarmed by the continued hold that Donald Trump has over the Republican Party and the rise of nationalist figures like him around the world. What do you say to those allies? What have you been saying to them at these meetings about how the next president of the United States can keep any promises you make?
What I'm saying to them is watch me. I mean, I'm not saying anything, quite frankly. I'm just going out. People, as I've said before, don't doubt that I mean what I say, and they believe that I keep my commitments when I say it. I'm not making any promises to anyone that I don't believe are overwhelmingly likely to be kept. I think that we're at a moment where, I mean, let me put it this way. You may have had a different view, but I think an awful lot of people thought that my showing up at the G7 would not produce any kind of enthusiasm about American leadership and about where America was. I would suggest that it didn't turn out that way. I would suggest that there is the leaders I'm dealing with in NATO and the G7 are leaders who know our recent history, know generically the character of the American people, and know where the vast center of the public stands. Not Democrat, Republican, but who we are. We're a decent, honorable nation. And I think that they have seen things happen as we have that shocked them and surprised them that could have happened. But